right now at 11, guilty of murder. Tonight, we hear from the wife of a woman who went to protest in a Portland park, and because of this man, never made it home. Plus, yet another business trying to stop the break-ins.
We have been through quite the nightmare.
What the owner of a local used car dealer is now doing in order to stay afloat. And later,
the behaviors we're seeing are violent to a level that I haven't seen in years past.
That was last year. Now, solutions are helping students bounce back.
Kids, more than anything, need community.
The clubs, counseling, and cute companions making school a more welcoming place. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Mulco, and we begin tonight with a guilty plea from a man who is now admitted to shooting 5 people, killing one of them during a protest at Portland's Normandale Park just over 1 year ago. Alma McCarty's in the newsroom tonight. And Alma, this evening you heard from the partner of the woman who died. What did she say?
Well, David, she says she takes some satisfaction in Benjamin Smith's change of plea, but she's also upset with the way the incident was first described by police as a confrontation between an armed homeowner and armed protesters. She believes that gave people the wrong first impression of how the shooting unfolded.
February 19th, 2022. A protest at Normandale Park in Northeast Portland turned deadly. Court documents say 43-year-old Benjamin Smith aggressively confronted protesters and asked them to leave. In turn, investigators say they told him to leave. The interaction, caught on camera, escalated. Smith pushing a participant, yelling at them, drawing a handgun, firing and striking 5 people. 60-year-old June Knightley was shot at close range in the head and killed. A year later, a memorial stands. Her wife and partner of more than 2 decades spoke outside the Multnomah County Courthouse Wednesday afternoon. She's partially blaming police and politicians for mischaracterizing what happened.
I want to make this very clear. The only reason that Benjamin Smith finally pled guilty today is because one of the shooting victims had the presence of mind to turn on her helmet camera and document what was quickly becoming a dangerous situation. The Portland Police Bureau, as well as local and national politicians and pundits, had long characterized people associated with racial justice protests as threats to the peace, thereby giving potential vigilantes license to take violent action on their own behalf.
Earlier inside, the suspect in this mass shooting changed his plea from not guilty to guilty for all 9 charges, including murder and multiple counts of attempted murder.
How did you wish to plead on count 3 to a charge of attempted murder in the first degree?
Guilty.
The judge acknowledging the struggle and emotions of the victims.
For many of you, it's very difficult to be here, either in person or on the WebEx call today. There are just some life events that should not be part of the human experience.
By pleading guilty, Smith gives up the right to trial and the right to a jury. He will be sentenced on April 18th. There, victims and family members will have an opportunity to testify. Of the 4 survivors, 1 remains paralyzed after being shot in the neck.
Today, we can take some small satisfaction in knowing that Benjamin Smith has finally had to accept the truth and concede that he is, in fact, guilty as charged on all counts.
We've reached out to PPB and the DA's office for comment on the victims' families' accusations and are waiting to hear back. It is also worth noting Smith was injured in the incident last year by someone in the protest crowd who fired back. David?
And we'll be following up on sentencing, of course, as well. Alma McCarty in the newsroom. Thank you, Alma. Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines. A juvenile is accused of shooting and killing a man who allegedly trespassed onto their property near Toutle, Washington. Police say the resident reported that stranger was acting erratically, harassing their dogs, threatening them this afternoon at their home on Spirit Lake Highway. The juvenile then shot the man and called 911 to report it. No word if the shooter will face any charges. Well, this next story could be just about a fire on one of Portland's most historic bridges, but it is so much more intricate than it first seemed on the surface. Here's why. When Portland fire crews pulled up to the steel bridge this afternoon, they found smoke coming out of a structure underneath the east on-ramp. Then crews used a sledgehammer to break holes in the cinder block, which, by the way, is not part of the load-bearing structure there. Firefighters say they pulled out one victim. They suffered burns and smoke inhalation. The victim there, it appears they'd been living in tunnels dug into the enclosed space. The eastbound lanes are going to remain closed until engineers can take a closer look. In Washington, former Blazers and Sonics player Sean Kemp has been arrested following a drive-by shooting. Police say an altercation sparked between two groups this afternoon outside the Tacoma Mall, led to at least one person firing shots. Nobody was injured. Police say they recovered a gun. Kemp, a six-time NBA All-Star, played for the Trailblazers for 2 seasons in the early 2000s. Well, add the owner of a Portland auto sales business to the list of those fed up with crime. She says over the past 2 years, 24 cars have been stolen off her lot. Now, Felina Cha is the owner of International Auto Sales. That is a used car company on Southeast 82nd. The value of those vehicles, Cha says, more than $200,000. Now, she says she serves diverse communities in the neighborhood and really wants to stay in business. So over the past week, to keep people out and to retain her insurance coverage, she installed a fence around the property, one that cost her $65,000.
And we talked to our agent and he said, as soon as we make a claim, because we haven't, that we would definitely be canceled. And so in order for someone to pick us back up, it would need to be fenced. So we are going to start that process.
Oh, one weekend, Shaw says the fence seems to be helping with no more break-ins and no stolen cars. A Portland grocery store chain has announced it is closing up shop. Green Zebra first opened in 2013 and featured healthier items and to-go meals. Its founder and CEO says the business had been hit hard by the pandemic, along with supply chain challenges, staffing shortages, and inflation.
It's convenient for people who live around here, but Safeway is not too far, and but it's too bad. Sorry to see him go.
Local shopper reacting there. Green Zebra has 3 Portland stores, which will all close at the end of the month.